Hello boys and girls, this is Mr. So. Welcome back for another lesson of biology. Today we are going through lesson 52 of chapter 30, Speciation. Before you start watching the video, remember to like and subscribe my channel and also share the video to your classmates. Let's start. Speciation is the process of forming new species. Interesting fact, scientists actually discovered 71 new species in the year 2019. The question is, how is a new species formed? What is the process of speciation? Let's take a look. In this lesson, we are going to use the tortoise, lục quay, as an example to talk about speciation. At the beginning, there is only one single type and single species of tortoise, and they can interbreed freely in their habitat. Since the tortoise they belong to the same species, when they interbreed and reproduce, they can produce fertile offspring, which is also belonging to the same species. However, there is geographical isolation. That means the living habitat is now separated into two parts, or isolated into two separate parts. This is the picture from the movie Ice Age. The ice they are separating. Another reason for having geographical isolation is due to the plate movement in the Earth under many years. Now, because of the formation of a mountain in between the habitat, the two groups they are now geographically isolated. Alright, say goodbye to your friends. The two groups they are now separated and no longer seeing each other anymore. Since they are totally separated, they cannot meet and interbreed. Therefore, in between them, there is no gene flow. In the different environments, they are going to have different mutation occurring so that they are going to produce different genetic variation in each of the group. The environment further change, and then the climate and environmental condition become so different that on group B, the environment is very dry. In the two groups, natural selection acts on them differently, so that they evolve independently. Now the group B, they start to look a little bit different from group A. After many generations, there is a great genetic difference between group A and group B. Now they develop different physical character. When the two groups they are not able to interbreed and produce fertile offspring, 可生育嘅後代, they are now called it two different species. Let's take a look at a MCQ. A new species is formed when the population... What is your answer? Let me give you 5 seconds to think. Alright, the answer should be C. A new species is formed when the population can no longer interbreed to produce fertile offspring. 可生育嘅後代 with the rest of the population. Then this must be a new species. There are actually different types of isolation mechanism. The one given from your textbook is called the geographical isolation, 地理阻隔. The organisms is separated by physical barriers such as the ocean, the desert, the mountain ranges, or the rivers. Another type of isolation mechanism is called the temporal isolation, 時間阻隔. Such as in the same species of squirrel, some of them they're active in the daytime, some of them they're active at night. They are active in different time zones, so that they never met each other in the same day. We call this temporal isolation. The final type of isolation mechanism is called the behavioral isolation, 行為阻隔. Take a look at the bird below. For the female bird, they are going to choose to mate with the male bird with some attractive dance. However, for the female bird, they tend to not mate with those who cannot dance. This choosing mate action based on their attractive dance is called the behavioral isolation. Let's take a look at the case of speciation in salamander, 泳螈, in California, the USA. At the beginning, there is only one species of salamander population. When they try to move to the south, they are being separated by the big mountain in the middle. So some of the group, they start to move to the east, and then the other group, they move to the west. We call this also geographical isolation. Since they are separated by the mountain, they no longer interbreed, and there is no gene flow between the group in the west and the group in the east. They have different mutation in different habitat, and due to the natural selection acting on them differently, at the end, the two groups of salamander on the east and west, they develop different physical character. At the end, the population, they can no longer interbreed to produce fertile offspring. The salamander becomes two separate different species. Let's take a look at how many marks would you get in the speciation of salamanders. First of all, the population, they are geographically isolated, and they can no longer interbreed, so there is no gene flow. In each of the group, there is different mutation, and the natural selection acts on them differently. This leads to a difference in the physical characteristics or appearance. At the end, since the organisms, they no longer interbreed to produce fertile offspring, the salamanders now, they are two different species. That's it for the video about speciation. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.